Hi again everyone, and welcome back to the vlog. I hope you are doing well. Today's video I'm going to explore 5 reasons why I think, to put it crudely, Twitter sucks as both a company and a service. Twitter has been front and center of the news cycle for a while now, with their recent banning of their most subscribed user, President Donald Trump, and their seemingly increasing movement towards curbing free speech and promoting left-wing agendas. The platform is clearly transitioning into something else. This has been clearly reflected in their stock price, with the social media platform taking a 12% hit the other day to its stock price, or losing the equivalent of about $5 billion in market capitalization. However, the problems of Twitter are not a recent thing. If you go back about 2 years ago, Twitter actually made an announcement that they would no longer publicly display the number of active users on the platform, as they believed that as users saw the numbers declining, which they had been for some time at that stage, more users would also abandon the platform, as they thought it was on the decline and the trend was over. Personally, I've never used Twitter and always thought of it as a bit of a waste of time, despite the hyper attention it is given in the media. So for the remainder of this video, I'm going to go through my 5 reasons why Twitter sucks and why we will be better off without it. So this is a problem I have had with text-based social media for a long time, and Twitter is the absolute epitome of this. Whenever you communicate something on screen that is just text, it can be open to interpretation a lot more than if it had been communicated in person, or at least in a video format. This is because humans communicate with more than just words. We rely on non-verbal cues such as eye contact, tone, and gestures when we convey messages. So if you want to send a message by text only, you potentially may need to explain it further, and therefore will require more than just 280 characters to properly convey the message. I'll build on this further in point 3. However, I do believe that the more people that use this platform, the less able they and the general population will become at being able to properly communicate in an ordinary setting. Not that I've used Twitter before, as I've never found the platform appealing to use. However, I have spoken to several people who use or have used the platform in the past. Of the growing list of people I know who no longer use Twitter, one reason they commonly cite is how fatiguing it was. Twitter has a reputation of being fast-paced and continually changing. The desire to stay abreast of developments seems to be part of its addictive nature for users. Now, we're living in an age where too much screen time and burnout are increasingly seen as health issues. For its regular users, Twitter may be perhaps one of the main contributors to these potential ailments. Point 3, it perpetuates stupid ideas and stupid people. In the first point, I mentioned that the basic nature of tweeting leaves user messages open to wider interpretation. For this reason, numerous dumb ideas, often perpetuated by dumb people, have actually caught traction with other equally stupid or irrational folk because of Twitter. The most recent example for me would be the defunding the police movement, which started in the wake of the Black Lives Matter protests that were sparked by the George Floyd homicide. Now, this is a message that is not unified within the people who perpetuate it. Some want to completely get rid of the police, some want to replace them with rapid response social workers, and there is a whole range of other interpretations in between. Beyond the mixed interpretation of the message, the sentiment of scaling back or getting rid of police is likely to adversely affect people living in poorer neighbourhoods with a higher susceptibility to crime, which are often the neighbourhoods with higher black populations. So simple logic would suggest that the idea is likely to cause more harm to the people it is aiming to protect. It is an example of stupid people perpetuating stupid ideas. Now, many of the people who perhaps do spread these messages are not necessarily stupid people. They might do so as they think it is good for their own identity development, or they just like to follow who they think are people in the know. But really, by not critically analysing what they retweet or throw their support behind, they are acting stupid and are part of the problem. I think one of the driving forces behind all social media platforms is that it has given people the platform to communicate to a wider audience without as many of the existing legacy or financial barriers that existed in the non-social media world, which is a good thing, as it has allowed a number of great ideas and brilliant minds to get the attention that they deserve. However, many of the large social media platforms have been starting to place limitations on what they see as acceptable use of their platforms, and there is a perceived politically left-leaning narrative to these developments. 2 recent examples have been the blocking of access to fast-growing platform Parler by Amazon, Apple, and Google, as their mission of being a truly free speech platform is perceived as being a breeding ground for extreme right-wing voices and activities. However, also in this time, we have seen President of the United States, Donald Trump, banned from Twitter. Donald Trump at the time had the largest following on the platform of all users and is the leader of the free world. Whether you like him or not, if you are banning the leader of the world's second largest democracy behind India from having a voice, that really does not bode well for your free speech credentials. Twitter should have a role in blocking certain users or groups from its platform. However, where they draw the line is often seen as cutting through the conservative side of politics, and as a result, there is a definite left-leaning perception of the platform, both on an official side and a usership side. The left-leaning persona is far stronger with Twitter than other social media platforms. The impact of this perception actually brings me to the fifth and final point I would like to make, and that is Twitter, given its present state of affairs, is a terrible investment. In the introduction, I mentioned a $5 billion drop to Twitter's market cap yesterday when the company's share price plummeted by 12%. This was a market response following the announcement of the banning of Donald Trump's account on the platform. By shutting out their most prominent and publicized voice on the platform, the market believes Twitter will experience a slowdown in revenues. This is also in part due to speculation that Trump may launch his own media or social media platforms in the near future, which would rival Twitter. But also perhaps because of the expected drop in users of the platform, as it is perceived by half of the native population of the United States as being left-leaning and censoring free speech. However, Twitter's user retention problems may actually be a little deeper than this contemporary market reaction. Back in February of 2019, it was revealed that Twitter stopped publicizing the numbers of active users they had on the platform because it had developed a downward trend, in part inspired by users seeing that decreasing number. Since 2019, Twitter has been increasingly seen as a partisan platform, and I think it would have continued to turn off a number of users over time. So the conclusion I have to come to is that the only thing that has been keeping Twitter's stock price up at this point is the attention tweets from famous Twitter users garnered from other media sources, which has helped indirectly perpetuate an illusion of success and status for the company. My theory for why Twitter gets a huge amount of attention by other social media goes back to the 280 character limit mixed with an easily sourced controversial reactions people have to them, often via other tweets. It's kind of just lazy journalism that has evolved to keep up with the increasing pace of the media cycle. Honestly, I think Twitter has an overinflated valuation, and I personally am avoiding investing in this company. For Twitter's financial statements to somewhat justify the present valuation, longer term, I think the company will need to do a clean out and get rid of their CEO, Jack Dorsey. He has become too toxic for the company's image. They also need to instate a more balanced management team that will bring the company back towards a more politically neutral position. Anyway, that is about all I have to say in this video about why I think Twitter sucks as a company. I think the world is better off without it in its current state, both because of the nature of the platform and the politics that are shaping around it. The culture and public attitude towards and perpetuated by the platform, I believe, are contributing quite strongly to poor thinking and increasing public partisanship. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Twitter is a waste of space, or do you see more merit in the platform than I do? Till next time, take care, guys.